motherfucker.
Hold up, I hope y'all watching this shit.
First round real quick. We just knocked these out real quick.
But now we're gonna get a good. I thought he was a con artist, just based off his look. Holy shit! What the hell just happened?
What's up, motherfuckers? Welcome to GSR Gonzo'S Sports Room, Friday, December 17th, 2021. Hope everybody's had a great week and getting ready for a great weekend. If you're starting your work week out, hopefully it goes good for you. I know some people start on Fridays, and most people is heading toward the weekend. But no, I hope everybody's having a good week. A lot of people probably getting ready to travel for Christmas week here coming up next week. So if you're traveling, be safe. But all right, we got a pretty big, quite a few things to talk about. We'll talk about the Chiefs and Chargers game last night. Talk about some of the coaching decisions that was made in that game. Then we'll also talk some Colts Patriots for tomorrow night. Got a couple college games. Actually, one college game's on right now. Then you have another one tonight. Then you have some college bowl games tomorrow. Have two NFL games tomorrow, plus with the NBA. So we're going to have quite a weekend in sports going on. But before we get to that, don't forget we're live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch with Easy Money, a sports betting show. Come join us. We're giving out winners. I had a decent night last night. My picks were 3-2 last night. I had a winning record, but hey, trying to do better than that today. We're live Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern with GSR Gonzo'S Sports Room. That's our sports talk show. So check it out as well. It's also live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. You can find both those shows, GSR and Easy Money, a sports betting show, in podcast form on Apple Podcast, Anchor Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast. Most places you listen to podcasts, you can find us. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Gonzo'S Sports Room. We post everything for our shows on the social media. Our daily picks from Easy Money, a sports betting show, get posted on there. Our show announcements, interview announcements, just anything to do with the show gets pushed out on social media. So follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Gonzo'S Sports Room. Check out our YouTube page. At Gonzo'S Sports Room. We have a bunch of content on there. If you're a pro wrestling fan, we have a lot of stuff on there. We have a lot of sports stuff on there. UFC. We cover a lot of UFC events. So if you're a UFC fan, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stuff on there you'll find interesting. We also have a video on there when some gunshots interrupted our show one night. There's some clips on there of me getting in a pro wrestling ring and getting chopped. So there's all kinds of stuff on there. Go check that out. Please hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell so you get notifications of when we are live. If you're watching on Facebook and Twitch, please hit the follow button. Hit the like buttons, share buttons, rate and review the podcast. We appreciate all that. Check out our merch store, streamlabs.com/Gonzalez Sports /merch. You can see some of the t-shirts here behind me. We have hoodies, hats, beanies. A lot of different things on there. So get you some GSR, GWR Easy Money gear. We'd greatly appreciate that. There's also a donation page at that same link. If you'd like to donate to the show to help the show grow, we'd appreciate that as well. All right, let's jump into some. Oh, one more thing before we jump into the sports. Tomorrow in Lafayette, big pro wrestling show. If you're a fan of independent pro wrestling and you can get to Lafayette tomorrow, I highly recommend it. At 4, doors open at 3, bell times at 4. It has a stat card for BMFX seasons beatings, a Christmas Carnage. Has a stat card. We will also GSR or GWR also be there live doing a live stream and live commentary. You can find that. You'll be able to find that tomorrow on YouTube and Twitch. So if you can't make it to Lafayette, come join us for that. Should be an awesome show. But all right, let's talk some sports. First thing I wanted to talk about this Chiefs-Chargers game. The Chiefs ended up defeating the Chargers in overtime. In what was a wild game. I mean, it was like a 14-13 game, Chargers lead going into the fourth quarter, and then both teams offenses both exploded. And the Chiefs end up tying the game up, goes to overtime. They win the coin toss. They take the ball, and they go down and score on the pass to Travis Kelce, which didn't even it looked like he was going to get a first down. It didn't look like he would score a touchdown off of it. But he cuts back, breaks free, scores a touchdown. Chiefs win the game. I'm not going to lie. I picked the Chargers at the +3 yesterday, so I was hoping the Chargers would win. But if the Chiefs was going to score a touchdown, that was the man I wanted to score. It was Travis Kelce because I have him on my fantasy team, and we're in the playoffs, and that was big for me. He ended up dropping 40 points last night for me in fantasy, which could go a long way in maybe me winning this week and advancing to the championship game next weekend. So I know the other guy, Steve, that usually does the show with me. I know he was pissed last night when I have it because me and him were playing each other this week, and we were about even on points so far until that happened, and that helped me a bunch, and it could be the difference in me winning and losing this week. We'll see what happens on tomorrow night and on Sunday, but that was a crazy game. But what's going to get talked about the most is the Chargers went for it on fourth down, I think 5 or 6 times. I know of at least 4 times they were stopped. They were stopped 4 times in the red zone, a couple times on the goal line where they went for it on fourth down, passed up points. I understand you're playing the Chiefs. I understand Patrick Mahomes is on the other side. You want to score as many points you can because you know they can explode at any time. But I understand you guys everybody's into this, or the whole NFL league is into the analytics thing. I understand all that. But there's a time to go for it and a time to not. You can't just go for it every time because you think analytics says so. Like he went for it at the end of the half there, didn't get it. That's big. That gives momentum to the Chiefs. Every time the Chiefs stop you at the goal line, their defense that's giving them momentum. Instead of if you score points, you tack on those 3 points. If you tacked on them 3 points every time that you got stopped in the red zone there, you win the ball game. You left so many points on the board. You left at least 12 points on the board. That's my only thing. I mean, yes, you could say, oh, he's aggressive. He's going for the win. I understand all that completely. But there's smart times to go for it, and then there's times that you don't. You got to take the points. When you're up by 3 points you was up by 4. It was 14-10. And you went for it like 3 times in the red zone on fourth down and didn't get it. If you kick that field goal, get up by 7. I can understand if it's the last 2 minutes of the game and you're trying to close the game out and you say, I'm going for this. We're up by 4 or we're up by 3 or say we're up by 2. A field goal is going to make it a 5-point game. Or you're up by 3. If a field goal is going to make it a 6-point game, and you're like, well, if they score a touchdown, they're going to beat us. We're on the 3-yard line. There's a minute left, 45 seconds left. We'll go for it on fourth down. If we don't get it, we're giving them the ball in the 1. They got to go 99 yards to beat us. And you trust your defense. I understand things like that, but man, I'm talking about in the first half, you get stopped 4 times in the red zone, and you go and 4 times you turn the ball over on downs. I mean, that's you kick those field goals. If you hit them, that's 12 points. And all those field goals was going to be chip shot because two or 3 times you was inside the 5. So if you ask me, that coach, the coach of the Chargers, cost the Chargers that game last night by being too aggressive And yeah, you could say, "Oh, it's hindsight 2020." Now you know what happened. I was bitching about it last night during the game. My opinion hasn't changed. My opinion would have been the same today if they would have won that game. If they would have ended up getting lucky and winning that game last night, would have had the same opinion. You can't turn down 12 points, especially when you're playing against a team like the Chiefs. Yeah, if you get those, yeah, you're going to score more. But if you don't get them, you get 0 points. Especially after you've already done it twice, don't you think? Hey, let's take the points this time. And that'd give you a 6 or 7 point lead going into half. And so I think ended up being like a 1 point lead. I think they got stopped, and then the Chiefs went down and scored. But I thought it was just poor game management by the Chargers coach Staley. I mean, that's a big game. I know you're thinking you're doing everything to win, but I think you got a little too aggressive, and that blinded the fact that, hey, we just need points. At this point in the game, we need points. I can understand that if it was a shootout, but early in the game, it wasn't a shootout. Your defense was doing their job. So why you take the points? Hell, you made you had a fumble and interception, got down. I think they got down 10-0, then they scored 14 unanswered. Once you got 14 unanswered, then you just want to keep adding on. And you just kept giving the Chiefs momentum and another chance and another chance and another chance. And Mahomes eventually is going to take care of those chances. He's not going to let that happen very often where you're going to keep giving him chances and he's not going to convert some of them into points. But so yeah, it was a great game to watch, fun game to watch. Chargers should have won that game, but hey, you got to give the Chiefs some credit for battling back there in the fourth quarter. Them two teams was going back and forth. Is something wrong with Mahomes, though? There's something I wanted to talk about, too, a little bit. Mahomes threw probably 4 or 5 passes last night where he had a guy, either like a running back in the flat or somebody else one of them would have been a touchdown past a wide receiver that he just threw straight into the ground. I don't know if it's something maybe wrong with his hand or something wrong with his arm, but there were some passes last night that came out of his hand ugly and went straight and was going like straight into the ground. I understand sometimes you just throw it away, but these wasn't even pressure on him. He came back, took his hitch, went to throw it. Like I said, it was going to be a touchdown. It wasn't like he was backpedaled or nothing. He took his hitch, went to throw, and it just straight into the ground. And there was a few other ones like that too. And there was a couple deep balls that he threw that were were underthrown a little bit. So I don't know, maybe he's having trouble with his arm or maybe his elbow or if it's hand, but something. I mean, don't get me wrong, he threw a lot of good passes last night too. But I'd never seen Mahomes throw so many passes that were easy little passes to a wide receiver or running back just right out in the flat, and they go straight in the ground. Like I said, one of them would have been a touchdown pass, and he threw it. It looked ugly coming in and went straight to the ground. Guy tried to reach down and get it before it hit the ground, but it was too far out. It went to the ground too far from him. But yeah, so I don't know if there's something going on with that or not. You have COVID running straight wild in the NFL and in the NBA right now too. But NFL, I know as yesterday had over 75 players. Now they're going to have. Now they're going to have more. They had 75 yesterday, and the most of them were vaccinated and were asymptomatic. There's still a chance, like the Browns, Browns have 21 players, including 10 starters on the COVID-19 list. Kevin Stefanski had tested positive as well. So did Baker. The NFL said there's no discussion about moving Saturday's Raiders-Browns game. If they get a negative test within 24 hours of the game, I guess they could play if they're asymptomatic and they've been vaccinated. So there's still a chance that Baker might be able to play tomorrow. I guess there's still a slight chance Stefanski could coach if he was able to get a negative test today. But yeah, the Browns could be missing 10 starters. But they have 21 players just on one team. that are out because of COVID or on the COVID-19 list. In NBA, you got the same thing. You have a lot of players that are the Nets. I think the Nets had 8 or 9 guys on the list. The Spurs had some guys. The Bucks, Giannis is out with it. So it's picking up everywhere. But the NFL seems to say, with the new rules they're making yesterday, if you are vaccinated and you're asymptomatic, once you get one negative test, you can return back instead of having to have 2 within a 24-hour period. Now it's 1. So I don't know how to look at that. You make these protocols because you think that's the best thing, and then now because it's going to start affecting your games here especially in the NFL late December, we're starting to get closer to the playoffs. You don't want to reschedule games, instead of rescheduling games, we're going to loosen up our protocols a little bit, where some of these players that would normally miss get to play. But if this vaccine is doing its job and it's where if you get it, it's not going to be as bad, and these players are vaccinated, and they get a negative test before they play. What's the big deal? That's the way I look at it. What's the big deal? Because, if you're saying the vaccine works, why can't these players play? I understand if they have symptoms and all that, but if you're asymptomatic, why can't you play? So that looks like what the NFL is leaning towards. But let's jump into tomorrow night's game. Well, first game tomorrow, you have the Raiders at the Browns. Like I said, the Browns are going to be missing a lot of players, but the Raiders haven't looked good at all. I still kind of lean toward the Browns in this game, even though the Browns are missing so many players, just because I don't trust the Raiders. The Raiders they've been right back to how they have the last few years. Get off to a good start, look like they're going to be a contender, and then they go downhill. They done it last year, done it the year before, and now it's happening again this year. I know this year you had a coaching change and you had that stuff. I understand that. Excuse me. Gruden that got kicked out in the middle of the season. This other guy, which I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but they just ain't seem to be able to get anything going, offensively or defensively. But to get big game tomorrow night, 8:30 is the Indianapolis Colts at the against the New England Patriots. Actually, I think the Patriots are at the Colts. I think I said that backwards. But no, should be a great game. Patriots have won 7 in a row. Colts have won 5 of their last 6. Should have been 6 of the last 6 because they should have beat Tampa Bay. They blew that damn game. They blew quite a few games. Colts could be right up there at the top of the AFC right now if they could play a complete damn game and with a little bit better coaching decisions on how to manage games, especially get games toward the end of a game. But this is going to be a big game. The Patriots are at the Colts. That's what I thought. Colts are 2.5-point favorites at home. But no, this should be a great game. Patriots have a good running game, have a good defense, one of the top defenses in the league. Colts have a good running game, a good defense. I think the difference could be the quarterbacks, and I think they're going to be able to put some pressure on Jones. I think what the Colts need to be able to do is we need to try to make New England one-dimensional. We need to be able to stop the run game. And on offense, we need to get off to an early lead. If we can get off to an early lead and we're stopping the run game, and we can get them one-dimensional where they have to throw the ball, I think the Colts will be able to force Mac Jones into some mistakes throwing the ball. And I think the defense will be able to take advantage of some of those and maybe come up with a turnover or two. And I think that's going to be the difference in the game. The Colts have to be able to we need to be able to get our running game going. But what Frank Reich has to do is if the running game isn't working good in the first quarter, don't give up on it. Stay with it some. Don't just abandon the run and just go straight to the pass and become one-dimensional. Jonathan Taylor's too big of a weapon. You can use him. You can give him the ball out of the backfield, throwing the ball as well, but he's too big of a weapon. And if you stick with him, he's eventually going to wear down that defense and break free some runs, and it's going to help your play action offense, because if you just give up on the run like we did against Tampa Bay and just go straight pass, it opens up chances for mistakes and turnovers, but for two, the clock ain't running. That you're making the game a longer game, because if you throw passes and they're incomplete, you're stopping the clock all the time. Control the ball, run the ball. We have one of the best offensive lines in the league, one of the best running backs in the league. Use it. I'm not saying run every damn time, but run. You got to stick with the run. We can't abandon the run like Reich has a few times this season, and he done a few times last season. Stick with the run some, because that's going to open up the passing game later, especially later in the game. If we have a run game, if our running game is doing decent in the second half, that's going to help open up the play action passes for a deep shot down the field. But if the Colts can play smart, don't turn the ball over, I think they have a real good chance of winning this game. I like the Colts in this game. But yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to watch it tomorrow night. Should be a fun night of football. Watch it when we get back from the wrestling show that we're doing tomorrow night in Lafayette. If you're a pro wrestling fan, if you can't make it to Lafayette to the BMFX season beatings of Christmas Carnage, it's going to be a great independent wrestling show. Has a stacked card. If you're a fan, check us out. We'll be live. Bell time's 4:00, and we'll be live we'll be live streaming the event. Have live play-by-play commentary. You'll also be able to see all the matches. It'll be live on YouTube and Twitch at Gonzo'S Sports Room. So if you're looking for something to watch tomorrow evening or tomorrow afternoon around 4:00, come join us at Gonzo'S Sports Room on YouTube and Twitch. Should be a great show. We'll have a great time. All right, since the Jaguars got rid of Urban Meyer, which I thought it was coming. I said earlier in the week that I didn't think he was going to make it the whole season, but I'm not going to lie, I didn't think it was going to happen the next fucking day. But Trevor Lawrence came out today and basically said that now they kind of know the direction, and basically kind of said, it sounded like some of them were relieved that they now think they have a solid direction and going in. And I guess Urban Meyer sounds like it was a fucking mess. But who's the Jags going to hire? And is Trevor Lawrence a bust, or is it a product of what was going on there in Jacksonville with Urban Meyer? And it sounds like out of control. I don't know. It sounds like he just wasn't much of an NFL coach. Sounds like he never got the players to buy in. I mean, I don't think Trevor Lawrence is a bust. I still think he's the best quarterback that came out of that class last year. I know Mac Jones is having a great year this year, but you're also, when you're the number one overall pick, you're going to a terrible situation 9 times out of 10, because that team was the worst team in the league the previous year. And if you get drafted 15, 16 in the league, you're going to a lot better team. So I think that gives them a better opportunity to succeed. Not taking nothing away from Mac Jones, because I think Mac Jones but I don't think Mac Jones would be doing a whole lot better than Trevor Lawrence if he was in Jacksonville right now, with what Jacksonville had and with the coaching and all that. A lot of it is situation. And Mac Jones got put into the perfect situation with a coach like Bill Belichick. Mac Jones does the things that Bill Belichick wants. Can throw the ball, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, is smart, can run the offense, and does the little things to help you win, and not the little things that cause you to lose games. But some of the coaching names I've heard out there today was that the Jaguars might go after be Jim Caldwell, which I think Jim Caldwell, that's who I hope gets it. I think Jim Caldwell will be a great fit. Jim Caldwell should have never, the Lions were idiots for getting rid of him when they did. They haven't won as many games in a season since they got rid of him. I mean, dude was doing good, was building something there in Detroit, and for some reason they got rid of him. I've never understood that. I've heard Josh McDaniels. I'm not big on McDaniels, but a lot of that's because of what he done with the Colts. When he was Colts was getting ready to set up a press conference to hire him as head coach, and then all of a sudden he backs out. So I haven't been a big fan of it. I think he's a great offensive coordinator, but you also have to look in his past what he did there in Denver as a head coach. But I mean, a lot of these coaches have done better their second time around. I mean, Bill Belichick, he got fired or left from the Browns. I mean, so I'm not saying McDaniels can't do it. He just kind of rubbed me the wrong way with the Colts. So I don't know if that's who I would pick, but I think he's capable and he has a great offensive mind. Doug Peterson's a name that's out there. I think that would be a good fit as well. I'd like to see him Jim Caldwell or maybe even Eric Bieniemy, because both of them. I think Caldwell would be good because he'd bring in some leadership to a team that hasn't had leadership so far this season. I'm not saying that the other guys wouldn't bring in leadership either, but that's what Caldwell's kind of known for. I think Peterson and McDaniels might have. Well, McDaniels probably has the best offensive mind out of the three. But having an offensive mind don't mean anything if you can't get the players to buy in, if you can't create the right culture, and if you're not just a natural leader. I think Jim Caldwell is. I think Jim Caldwell would be an awesome fit with the Jacksonville Jaguars. But all right, before we get out of here, I'm gonna give you guys out the picks I gave out on Easy Money, a sports betting show today at 11. Again, you can find that show on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, at Gonzo'S Sports Room on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Come join us. We're giving out winners. Please tell a friend about us. Please go hit that subscribe. Take a moment, hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Hit that bell so you get notifications when we are live, and all that good stuff. All right, the picks I liked for today was in college football tonight. I like Toledo minus 10.5 against Middle Tennessee State. I like Northern Illinois plus 11.5 against Coastal Carolina. And then in the NBA tonight, I like the Warriors money line, the Bucks money line, the Los Angeles Lakers money line, and the Charlotte Hornets money line. All right. But before we get out of here, don't forget, we're live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch with Easy Money, a sports betting show. We're also live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern with GSR Gonzo'S Sports Room. Both those shows are live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. You can also find both those shows in podcast form: Apple Podcast, Anchor Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast, Pocket Cast, Breaker Cast. Most places you listen to podcasts, you can find us. Follow us on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all at Gonzo'S Sports Room. That's where I post everything about our shows. Our daily sports picks from Easy Money, a sports betting show, get posted on our social media. Any big show announcements, interview announcements, all that good stuff. Don't forget, we do have a big interview tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. Pro wrestler Josh Morris will be joining us for a special edition of GWR Live tonight at 8 o'clock. Come join us for that. Also, we're going to be live tomorrow excuse me, for BMFX Season Beatings and Christmas Carnage. Should be a great pro wrestling show. If you can't make it to Lafayette, we would like to see everybody there. We want to pack the house. But if not, you can't make it there, join us on YouTube and Twitch. We'll have live play-by-play coverage, or blow-by-blow coverage, I should say, with live commentary and live stream on YouTube and Twitch at Gonzo'S Sports Room. So come join us for that. Check out our merch store, streamlabs.com/Gonzo'S sports/merch. We have a lot of different things on there. Have some new merch getting ready to come out. Keep an eye out for that. We do have a new GWR shirt that's already hit the store. Get on the store, go get you one. We'd greatly appreciate it. Also, don't forget to follow, to hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Hit that bell so we get notifications so you get notifications of when we are live. I think, and let's see. Did I get everything? Oh, big show announcement. We have a big show announcement that'll be coming up. But one big show announcement is our GWR weekly podcast. It's going to be our pro wrestling podcast. It'll air once a week. It'll be a podcast / YouTube show. It'll release the first Sunday of 2022. We'll be recording on Saturdays, releasing on Sundays. Going to be a lot of fun. We'll cover Indiana independent wrestling. We'll cover AEW, WWE, NXT, Ring of Honor, Impact, all the different organizations. We'll talk about it all. But that'll be the first Sunday of the new year is when that'll be hitting. We'll still be doing our GWR live interviews and that stuff. Most of that stuff will be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But the new weekly podcast and YouTube show will start January 2nd. Also keep your eyes out. Got a couple big announcements coming for the new year. There's some big things coming for the Gonzo'S Sports Room umbrella with GWR, Easy Money, and GSR. Got some big announcements that are getting ready to come out. 2022 is going to be a big year. So keep an eye out for those announcements on our social media. Thanks for joining us today. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Stay safe. If I don't get to talk to you before Christmas, have a great Christmas. Hopefully you guys will join us tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, for an interview with pro wrestler Josh Morris. And like I said, again, tomorrow we'll be live with the live stream of BMFX Pro Wrestling Season Beatings. The Christmas Carnage has a great card. Go check them out at BMFX on Wrestling on Facebook. If you can get to the show, come join us. We'd like to see you guys in person. We will have a few shirts for sale tomorrow. We don't have a lot left on hand, but the ones that we do have on hand will be for sale tomorrow. We will hopefully see you guys tonight or tomorrow. If not, we'll see you Monday. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Peace.